Taurus, welcome. We have your reading for Monday the 28th of March. So I'm going to jump straight in. Here we go. This is a general reading, so take what resonates. I'd love for it to be a specific one, but I can't talk to every Taurian on the planet. So we have the Moon as your main card. Crossing that, we've got the Four of Pentacles. In the recent past, Three of Wands. Near future, excellent. You've got the Emperor. The root of the matter, what's been niggling away at you, is the Seven of Swords, the Cloak and Dagger card of deceit. The head of the matter, what you understand about the situation, is the Three of Pentacles. That's a really good card. You find yourself at the Seven of Cups, the Eight of Cups, apologies. Hopes and Fears, Queen of Pentacles, that's a great card. Oh, sorry, that's how others see you. This is your hopes and fears. Page of Swords, which is great. Oh, your outcome's not great. Two of Swords. Let's look into that in a little minute. An underlying theme is the Lovers. So let's start with your first card. So you've got the Moon, and it's a difficult card, the Moon. It implies some kind of journey and moving forward, but it implies also kind of illusion and distrust and something not quite being right. Let's read a bit more into the reading first. But it's an unsettling card, I find, with the Moon. And what that's doing to you is it's giving you the Four of Pentacles, which, if you can see on this card, they're covered in vines and they're in the dark and the butterflies can't escape. They're trapped in a web. It's kind of a card of stagnation, of hoarding, of I've always done it this way, but it hasn't worked, but I'm going to keep doing it this way because that's the way I've always done it. Well, you always do what you've always done, you always get what you always got. So it's a card of stagnation, but I think around that we've got some movement cards. So in your recent past, you really did go for it. You know, this is a bird that from a distance sees the fish that it wants and zooms down, taking all those others with it. So it's got followers coming with it. And it's kind of card of entrepreneurship and going out into the wider world, a real card of action as well. So that's been your near past. So I think you've tried something recently. And then in the near future, you've got the Emperor, who is, you know, the big daddy of the card and of the deck. And you see here, he's sat on a stone plinth. It's quite hard to see in this light, but he's sat on a stone plinth, very unadorned. You know, it's not comfortable. He's got prisms coming down that are a really rigid structure, and he's got a big list of things that he's making. And again, is a card of stoicism and being direct and set in your ways, which is sometimes a good thing and sometimes a terrible thing, but we'll take the set in your ways at the moment. And then obviously, you know, the sort of gut of the matter is this kind of deceit, betrayal, and what it warns you of is, you know, rumour mongering and all that kind of naughty behaviour. But the sword is hanging over the rat. The rat's going to come to a sticky end. You know, karma has a way of finding you out or finding other people out. So I always say in this situation, don't be that person. That's warning you not to be the person. It's not telling you that it is. You know, Tarot's great at the kind of signposting you in the right direction. And then what's happening is these cards inform the question, and this is taking you over here to where you're going to find yourself. And where you find yourself is the Eight of Cups. And traditionally, that is someone walking away from 8 cups. And it's like nothing can satisfy you. Whereas this is slightly more elegant. So you've got a baby octopus leaving his nest because he needs to grow and become something else. Well, there's lots of things in the dark, lots of eyes in there. It looks quite terrifying, but he needs to move on. He needs to take that journey to somewhere else. So that's what it's advising you of. It's like this card, the head of the matter, Three of Pentacles. One of those coins is dropping soil on the ground or dirt. One's planting seeds and one's watering, and you're making an oak tree. Solid, reliable, and in whose shade you will never sit because, you know, they're slow growing. And we need to be thankful to the people that plant oak trees today for our great-grandchildren in the future. But, you know, sow the seeds, yeah? So be the better person. Sow the seeds, get a move on because you've got some action here and you've got some action here. He's very stoic and direct and deliberate, but that comes with a certain lack of pace. So the stagnation card's warning you about that as well. So let's plant the seeds in the situation. Let's move forward. Let's know that we need to move forward. Sorry, my screen's gone again, people. That's it. So we know we need to move forward. We need to go on to that journey. And if you do go on to that journey, excuse me, this is how other people see you. See you as Queen of Pentacles. She's a safe harbour. She's got snakes and birds to live happily together. You know, she is calm, sophisticated, confident, you know, empowered, empowering, trustworthy, generous, you know, everything you would want to be, anyone would want to be in this situation. So by following that, not sure where I'm going, but I'm going, gets you to a safe place, gets you to a really good position. And your hopes and fears are the Page of Swords. And in the Page of Swords, you know, he's cutting through the nonsense. You know, it's what's the word? A clear bell in a foggy day, you know, and he's chopped those brambles down like that. But you can see by doing that, those are the fruits of his hard-won labour down there, you know. So he's actually going, ta-da, look what I've done. So it's not without a certain amount of noise or a kind of cathartic event, but it's a positive one. You know, if you're doing it for the right reasons, the Page of Swords is a great card to get. It's a real kind of cutting through the nonsense, you know. And I think if you do all of that, we should be able to negate this. Because the Two of Swords is a card of being stuck at a crossroads. You know, those two swords rubbing against each other. There was a list of things to do that's getting more and more worn. You know, nobody's gaining from this. Sometimes not making a choice could be considered a choice, but it's not really a choice. So you're at a crossroads, but in order to know whether it was the right thing you did or not, you need to move on from the crossroads, if that makes sense. So imagine you're sat at a crossroads not knowing whether to go left or right, so you don't go anywhere. If you go left, it was successful, and if you went right, it was terrible. But at least by going right, you knew it was terrible, and you came back and went left instead. Or you went left and went, this is amazing. Maybe I should have gone right for it would be even better. Come back and go right and go, no, I was right the first time. So it's not about going down a path never being able to come back. It's just don't sit there with this stagnation, this kind of hoarding mentality of I've done this before. This journey is cold and long and dark, but it does take you to a really safe place, you know. And again, the underlying message on the deck is the Lovers. You know, there is some trial involved, but if there's this red string of fate that we would like to believe in, you know, they've got a prism in each hand, one going up, one going down, and it's the opposites of the two people and how you know the synergy of more than one person actually creates something greater. And this red string of fate, it could go on for decades, and I don't mean that from a person to person thing. I mean it as a just this kind of logic of if you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you always got. So if you're late into work every day and your boss keeps going, you're late into work, you're late, get another alarm. Well, my alarm doesn't work. Well, buy a new one. Well, I can't afford to buy a new one. Well, get a mate to ring you up. You know, just find a way to get in early. Or if you're working with a colleague and they're taking all the glory or they're not supporting you the way you want to, use the Page of Swords, you know, to cut through that and say, come on, guys, as a team, this team here works really well together. Dirt on its own won't grow an oak tree, water won't grow it on its own, and the seeds won't grow it on it. Those three need each other, you know, and they need that strictness, that kind of discipline. There you go, the discipline. And if I'm being really honest, the balls to go on this long, dark journey. Because again, where you find yourself is great, and you're worried that the outcome's going to be this. It might not be this, you know. But you've got a long way to go before you get to that. It's not going to happen in a week, this one. This seems like it's slightly longer. But anyway, you're in for a really interesting week, Taurus. So I would batten down the hatches, you know, do what you're really good at, you know, and do it in a really disciplined way. Take a bit of a risk, because you're going to find yourself in a safe place, which is going to lead you to this. But ultimately, you know, really don't be this person. Nobody likes to be the cloak and dagger. Nobody wants to be the rat. So be the better person, and you're going to have a great week. Take care, and I'll see you for the next one.